And so Trump come up on TV the other day, and I don't even watch TV. My wife's over here, she's watching TV, and I'm laying there. And Trump cut into her program with, oh, Mr. Trump. And I was laying there listening to the BS fall out the colonel's mouths. Okay, as Trump talks about giving an additional $1,000 for parents with children for earned credit on their tax refunds. So instead of getting $1,000 credit, $2,000 per child now credit. You know, we've been floating the dollar, floating through the air with nothing backing it for years now. Since we moved to go away from it, you've watched inflation, which is created by your dollar falling in value. That's right, because it has nothing to back it no more. Because when the dollar was originally set up, it was a debt-based currency to begin with, but it was backed with gold. It's sort of like your checkbook. You go down to the bank and open a checking account, which isn't too popular nowadays, but you can still do it. Your checks are backed by to be 10 money that we printed that has nothing backing it. That's right. But the dollar used to be backed by gold. You had to have enough gold to cover that $1, and so on. But Tricky Nicky took that out years and years back, so we've been floating the dollar ever since, okay? And you watch prices go up and up and up, and people complain about inflation, prices going up. Well, U.S. currency used to be number one on the globe. Okay, the most valuable on the globe. It's the number one currency. It used to be. That's right. Hasn't been that in a long time. You know, our currency was worth more than any other currency on the globe. It ain't been that in a long time. Now everybody's currency is passing up our currency, and our prices go up because our dollar's falling in value until it eventually is worth nothing no more. That's right. Done by design. It's not no accident. But I'll show you a couple things here. I listened to Trump talk about he's bringing jobs back. He's taking money back from overseas now. That's right. That's what he said on TV anyhow. Of course, I'm just laying there going, yep, propaganda, 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 propaganda. More lies, more lies. Oh, I'm sure he'll give you your tax credit. Yep. Because if you didn't see that after he said it, then you'd be all mad, right? If he gives it to you, then you'll believe everything he said, won't you? Isn't that what most of you do? Yeah, then you'll believe, yeah, you see, he's doing it. Yep, yep, he's bringing jobs back. I'll tell you what, he will be bringing some jobs back. You know what kind of jobs he'll be bringing back? Well, the other type of jobs where you work like in Rock Island Arsenal. Well, what's that? Well, you know, over Rock Island, Illinois, which is part of the Quad Cities. Oh, most of you don't even know what that is, right? Well, you know, I grew up in Iowa, and in Iowa, there's four cities joined together: Davenport, Bettendorf, East Moline, and Rock Island. These four cities are joined together by two bridges that cross the Mississippi River. Okay, with Davenport and Bettendorf being in Iowa, and East Moline and Rock Island being in Illinois. So what did I say? Rock Island Arsenal. What is the Rock Island Arsenal? Oh, well, that's where we build weapons at for military. That's what the Rock Island Arsenal is. It's where we build our weapons at. That's just one facility. See, places like this pretty soon will have lots more openings. Yeah, they already got a lot of work as it is because, see, we've never quit the war. That's right. But what we're about to do is escalate the war. That's what we're about to do. This isn't what Trump's telling you, though, of course. He's not going to tell you that part. You're about to see what I'm talking about. But I want to get this message out here, show you. Not trying to scare you. But it's inevitable. It's going to happen because people failed to grow up. Many, many neons ago, the beginning of time, human beings failed to grow up. And human beings have never grown up. Not even in today's society, and I don't care how many of you people tell me you're a grown up adult. If you believe that we need a military to defend ourselves, you're not a grown up adult. You failed. That's all I got to say to you. And I know you may not like me saying that, but it's as simple as this. The only reason you would ever need a military to defend yourself would be because you have failed to grow up. Because you're not adult enough or responsible enough or have enough sense in your head to figure out how to work things out and work with people. Instead, you got to continue to fight with people and steal and kill and allow a group of psychopaths to run you. And this group of psychopaths who's running you are making all the decisions. And they love fighting and killing, just not themselves. See, these people's children never go to war. These people and their families never go to war. They're never on a battlefield. They don't worry about it. They're always in the safe zone. They'll never ever be affected by it. It'll just be the dumb sheep that'll be affected by it, which is the majority of the slaves, the people. The slaves, the people, that's right. And we have a really good example because they've created so much division in today's society over the decades and decades now with the social conditioning machine that they have us all divided up, fighting one another over fluff and stuff because we all failed to grow up. And I'm saying it that way because it is true. But here, I'm going to show you this now. I want you to pay attention close. Okay? Then you'll figure out why I said there will be some jobs coming back. The rest of the jobs Trump's talking about brought back is BS. He didn't bring any jobs back. No, he didn't. He bullshitted you. But he's about to bring some jobs back for you. Yep, at places like Rock Island Arsenal. At places that build weapons. Yep, them are the jobs you'll get back. And then you'll have a bunch of other jobs for your young. Put on a uniform and go overseas and kill and steal. That's right. In the guise of being a man and call yourself an adult that you grew up. You didn't grow up. You're allowing a pack of psychopaths to use you for their own gain. Okay, I got no more to say because I could go on forever with this. But I want you to watch what I'm going to show you. Then listen to what I'm going to put right after this news report. Okay, and then think about what I just said about, yeah, we'll get some jobs back, won't we? At places like Rock Island Arsenal where we could build more weapons for the upcoming war. That's right. Even though we've never stopped and we're still in a war right now ever since 9/11, it's about to escalate and get even worse. Watch out.
By the host of RT's Kaiser Report, Max Kaiser. Max, good evening. Thanks for coming on. We were hearing there that China looks set then to challenge the petrodollar. Why does Beijing feel the need to do this?
Well, first of all, they're very brave to do this because countries that have tried to exit the oil-dollar matrix have met terrible ends. Of course, Saddam Hussein wanted to trade oil in euros, so he was killed. You had Muammar Gaddafi wanted to trade his energy in something other than U.S. dollars. He was killed. So the track record here is pretty dire. So kudos to China for taking this project on. And, of course, they are rumored to be the big buyer in the Aramco offering of their state oil facilities coming down the pike. So this makes sense in a geopolitical sense in terms of you've got China and Russia and the Saudis are looking to escape the U.S. dollar hegemony. They're looking to de-dollarize. That's a concept we see all over the world right now as countries want to escape from the U.S. military-industrial complex. These countries around the world are tired of funding America's military adventurism by being a party to the empire of debt, as it's known around the world, the U.S. dollar, and they want to split off. They want their autonomy. China wants autonomy. Russia wants autonomy. Iran wants autonomy. They don't want to be ruled over by the U.S. dollar anymore. So this gives them away this contract, futures contract based in yuan for oil, convertible into gold. It means that these countries can finally, and it's been in place since the end of World War II, escape the Bretton Woods U.S. dollar hegemony, empire of date, supremacy, world reserve currency, that is the U.S. dollar, and we're in a new beginning, I think.
Is there anything then that the U.S. can do about this? Because it's not going to be happy that it's going to lose the petrodollar, so how would you expect it to fight back?
Well, they're exactly right. They will fight back. They will start a war. Maybe they'll start a war between Japan and China. Maybe they'll start a war with North Korea. America will do anything to keep the U.S. dollar as world reserve currency. They will invade a country like Afghanistan. They'll stop at nothing, because this is the basis of the U.S. empire. It's not land-based. It's not based on material goods. It's based on rent-seeking. It's based on lending dollars, getting that income, and then when countries can't pay, they dismantle the assets and take them over. We saw it in Latin America, South America. This is how America built its empire. The countries that are resistant to America's financial cartel are Russia, China, Iran. So now they figured out, you know what, we're going to split off from the dollar, and they can do so with this new contract. And they're embracing cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies in this context is another way to de-dollarize, get out of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is being held up narrowly with the Pentagon's various actions around the world and a lot of market machinations from the central banks. But once the cat's out of the bag, look for the dollar to have a very significant crash.
And among the countries you said might actually join China in this were Saudi Arabia. You said that just a couple of minutes ago. I mean, that might surprise a lot of people that they would be willing to go ahead with this.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
So how could they be able to do this and simply switch out of the US dollar? Do you think it's that simple for them?
Well, it's not going to be simple, but there is definitely a motivation for the Saudis to they want to float Aramco, for example, because they need the money, because they're deeply in debt, and they're running out of cash, and they wanted to do an IPO of Aramco on either the London or the American exchange, but they were prevented from doing so from the legal actions of the 9/11 survivors, who rightly point to the Saudis as the cause of 9/11, the architects of 9/11. And they were allowed in America for those lawsuits to go forward. That's a pretty recent development. Only in the last year or so, lawsuits against Saudis for terrorism for 9/11 have been allowed to go forward. So now the Saudis are like, okay, if that's the way you feel, America, then we're going to take our business to China, Russia, Iran, So there's a huge split between the Saudi and America right now. The petrodollar, which got started in 1970, 1971, that's coming to an end. The Saudis are doing all kinds of moves that beyond just killing people on 9/11, which is pretty aggressive, I think.
Max,
they're doing a lot of other moves.
We could talk a lot longer about this. It's a fascinating topic, but we've got to leave it there. We really appreciate your thoughts on this. That was
sure.
Max Kaiser. Thank you.
President Trump is expected to demand a large increase in military spending in tonight's address. Yesterday, the White House announced it will be asking Congress for an additional $54 billion in defense spending. This, they say, will be paid for by cutting domestic programs and foreign aid. Here's what the president also had to say about this proposed military buildup in that interview we mentioned on Fox News earlier.
Well, we're going to spend a lot more money on military. We really have to. We have no choice. And a lot of people think it's a tremendous amount of money. It could be actually $30 million, $30 billion more than that. We're going to upgrade our military very substantially. Remember this, I also am going to get involved in negotiating. We have many planes and boats and ships and everything that we are spending too much money individually on. We're going to get involved in negotiating. We're going to be able to get, I think, a lot more product for our buck